Go home, baby.
Right now, we sitting here at the Upper Boxing Center where we always meet at. This is our meeting ground since we was amateurs and whatnot, right? He's coming. We waiting for our champ to get here so we can just go to Mondawmin Mall and see what's ready to unfold.
Y'all getting the last little bit of Gervonta that y'all gonna see. I'm gonna make sure I do what I'm supposed to so I can be the best I can.
2 sparring partners and rounds is unknown.
All right, y'all. Let's go.
No.
Bam!
When they watch us in here working, they saying we going bang, 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 bang.
There you go. Good. There you go.
When he get in that ring, he's on a mission. Because he understand that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you asked for. Let's get it now.
Slow it down. Good work.
He ain't playing with nobody. You step in that ring with him, be prepared.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is back where it all started, returning to that Baltimore boxing gym and reconnecting with the legendary mentor Calvin Ford. The place where his dream was built is now the battlefield where he sharpens every weapon in his arsenal.
Man, I call it three things. I look at Tank trying to find himself as the businessman, the fighter, and the family man. Nobody can give him a manual. You know, he ain't come around that stable American way of life where he can learn from it. You with me, see glimpses and pieces of different people's life. He tries to get into it, but he don't really understand it. So right now, he's just trying to find himself. I look at him and look at myself. And I had my journey too, you know, and I see his journey. His journey is different.
You know, I could do anything, especially in your backyard.
You gonna feel all this we gotta do? Look, hey Tank, we gonna go 35-12.
But perhaps the most powerful proof comes from someone who has watched Tank's entire journey unfold. Coach Barry Hunter reveals a moment from the past that exposed the true identity of Gervonta Davis. Behind the fame, money, and spotlight is a fighter who was never created for comfort or luxury. That inner fire.
Ever since I've known him, since he was a kid, his biggest fear is losing. I'll never forget this day, and he told the story himself. I believe we were in Vegas. Adrian Broner was fighting. And I turned around and Tank, he was crying. What are you crying for? He said, I want it. And I said, you want what? He said, I want all of this. He was so in awe with Adrian, the accolades and him winning titles, blah, 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 and he wanted to be that guy. And when I saw him crying, I was like, wow, you know, I stepped off. I said, wow, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna have to worry about him. You gonna fight hard to get it.
After stepping away from boxing for a period of time, Gervonta "Tank" Davis discovered something deep within himself that refused to stay quiet. Now back inside the gym and fully locked into training, that small spark has transformed into an uncontrollable fire. Davis is building his comeback path with one mission in mind.
10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more. Good, under here, roll under the bed. Good job.
That lawnmower, that's that. Start that.
I made the decision of training. I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel though this will help me. I'm from Boston.
When speaking about why this massive showdown continues to remain delayed, Shakur Stevenson refuses to hide his feelings. He makes it clear that he wants the Tank Davis fight badly, but he also calls out Tank's actions in a way that reveals what he believes is the real problem. According to Shakur, this situation is not about contracts, negotiations, or promotional issues. He believes Tank simply has not shown enough focus, and now the entire boxing world is
speaking on him, but if same thing that I said,
fighting perspective.
Same thing that I said with T.O. If anybody got issues with me or feel some type of way about me, you could come see me on fight night. and resolve every issue that you got.
Yeah.
I stand by that with anybody.
But keeping it boxing. Do you
That's
ever
boxing.
Think, no, I'm just saying.
That's not boxing?
Yeah, no, I love it. No, you got to do what you got to do.
Right, like.
I just want to see. I want to know. I'm just asking, realistically, will we ever see y'all two in the ring? However way it get there, will we ever see that match?
I would love.
Looking at the bigger picture, however, Shakur remains honest about the past. He admits that there was once a time when the relationship between him, Tank, and the other young stars climbing toward greatness was peaceful and respectful. But everyone inside that circle understood something important. It was never going to stay that way forever. Not when every single fighter was chasing the same dream of reaching the absolute top of the boxing world.
I always knew I'm the one. Like, I always knew. And I feel like deep down, like, they probably won't say it, but they know. You know. It was cool at certain times, but deep down, everybody know as a competitor, it's only so cool it can get.
Because we gonna have to face each other.
So,
copy.
Truthfully, it was cool at times, but
yeah, at the beginning.
Shawn Porter has shared the ring with champions and legends, so he understands what true greatness looks like. And while breaking down Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, Porter makes one thing very clear. This matchup is unlike anything Tank has ever faced before. He sees this as a dangerous mental chess battle, where Shakur's elite defensive skills could force Davis into unfamiliar territory. Porter warns that the explosive power and knockout strategy Tank has relied on throughout his career may not be enough against a defensive genius like Stevenson when they finally collide inside the ring.
Said everybody thinks that Tank is gonna go in there and just knock out Shakur. It's gonna
That's not gonna happen.
But it didn't take. It shouldn't have taken this fight. For people,
I knew he couldn't.
For people to realize that. Right.
No,
I knew that too. But yeah,
Shakur is a defensive specialist.
And I've been saying this for a long time. If you pay attention to how Tank would react whenever Shakur's name came up, I was like, yo, it's something that Tank knows that most people don't know or understand. There's something that he sees in Shakur. It could be the fact that Shakur was a 2016 silver medalist. You know,
he got a lot to do with it.
He's that, you know, the silver child of the country.
Shawn Porter also explained that the greatest fighters are not simply the ones who can punch the hardest. The true legends are the warriors who can adapt when their first plan stops working. He reflects on how elite champions continue evolving, improving, and adding new weapons throughout their careers. The ability to change styles, adjust in the middle of a fight, and find another way to win when the knockout does not come is what separates good fight.
Fight with Shakur, you're going to see this boxing style that you don't usually get from Tank. You're going to see IQ. We saw IQ, but to me, it was low IQ because the reason why it was low IQ is because everybody followed the script. And what I mean by that is you see somebody's IQ take place when a fighter makes an adjustment, and now you have to adjust to what that fighter is doing. And that's kind of where you see
who's smart,
you know what I mean?
Who get a hold of it.
I think my fight with Terrence shows a very high level of IQ from both of us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what Tank is going to do with Shakur. He's going to come into the ring and be a different version of himself.
Adding another legendary voice to the conversation, Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the Tank versus Shakur matchup and delivers a brutally honest opinion that focuses on one quality above everything else: discipline. In Jones' eyes, Shakur Stevenson's dedication, consistency, and complete focus both inside and outside the gym exist on a different level. He believes that mindset separates Stevenson from Davis, whose personal challenges and outside distractions have repeatedly created questions about whether he can maintain complete control when the pressure reaches its highest point. And
right now, Shakur wins it because of his discipline, because he showed against Teofimo that he can stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally, so it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline, but we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right times than we've seen him not have.
But Roy Jones Jr. is not finished there. And what comes next is where his breakdown becomes even more fascinating. He makes it crystal clear that a fully focused, completely motivated Gervonta Davis is still one of the most dangerous forces in boxing. No matter how perfect an opponent's strategy looks on paper, the fight IQ, timing, explosive speed, devastating one-punch power, and natural abilities that Tank carries into every battle are weapons that do not simply disappear because of problems outside the ring.
Right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person because of his intangibles. When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank's a problem for anybody. Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's just that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and it make people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank is a problem for him.
And if Roy Jones Jr.'s words were not enough, Terence Crawford steps into the conversation and raises the intensity even higher. Crawford points directly toward Shakur Stevenson's elite defensive ability, explaining that it represents something Tank Davis has never truly experienced before in his career. He reminds everyone that a 3-division world champion does not step into any fight without earning respect through years of greatness. According to Crawford, the importance and danger of this matchup cannot be ignored from the moment both—
But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done. So it's not.
What makes Crawford's perspective so interesting is not just what he says, but the honesty and confidence behind his words. He makes no attempt to hide the fact that he and Tank Davis have never exactly been close allies. Yet he refuses to let personal feelings interfere with what his experienced eyes can clearly recognize. Crawford gives Davis full credit for his intelligence, devastating power, and sharp instincts that make him dangerous against anyone at any level, while still—
Tank is great for what he do, and I respect Tank in the ring and his skills and his power and his attribute and he's smart.
Yeah.
He's definitely smart. He can box off. And I'm not saying I would pick Shakur just because our differences. I'm telling you as a fighter.
Yeah.
I will pick Shakur because I don't believe Tank will be able to land those big shots on Shakur like he does everybody else.
Right.
Shakur defense is just—
And then, just like that, the brutal reality of the business side of boxing cuts through all the excitement. Mentor Kenny Ellis lays it out clearly, explaining that despite the massive money waiting on the table, a fight between Lomachenko and Tank Davis could potentially be the final challenge Lomachenko chooses to accept. Not because of pride or ego, but because of the very real possibility that his legend—
keeps going, and Mill asks him, like, finally gets to the Gervonta deal. He's like, so you don't think he would fight Gervonta? Kenny Ellis says, no, man, I don't think he would. I think that'd be the last guy he wants to fight. He said, yeah, it's the biggest money. It'll be the biggest money for him for sure. But does he want to go out on his career getting knocked out like that against Gervonta? I think he'll be the last one that he chooses to try to fight, man. Now, the sad thing is, man, the sad thing about that is that it is probably true. It's probably true. There's a culture in boxing, man, where these guys are out there giving breaks to people, out there giving them money to try to make sure that they don't fight certain people.
And just like that, Fennon closes the discussion with a statement that hits harder than any punch thrown throughout this entire debate. He refuses to hide the frustrations surrounding Tank Davis's career. Tank may continue winning, earning huge paydays, and keeping fans entertained worldwide, but Fennon questions whether Davis will ever reach the same historic level of recognition as Terence Crawford. In his eyes, Tank's journey is not the issue. The real question is whether there is a limit to
what we want to happen in the sport of boxing, so we are going to shut it down. And listening to Kenny Ellis, it's like you could hear it and you can see it in his voice. It's like he's not going to get his hopes up that Gervonta is going to get that. Gervonta is going to have to continue to grind, beat the people that he's able to fight for the big money that he gets for fighting them, satisfy his fan base, but never at a point in time is he ever going to get the opportunities like that a Terence Crawford got when Terence Crawford signed with CAA, and all of a sudden, he's running off and getting put in Rocky films and stuff like that. Not going to happen.
But beyond the comeback itself, Boxing Geo reveals a detail that cannot be overlooked, uncovering a behind-the-scenes development that could completely reshape the lightweight division overnight. The balance of power may have just shifted, and suddenly every major possibility appears to be back.
The man is coming out of retirement and trying to make another run in boxing, right? And we're going to talk about that. Vasyl Lomachenko is coming out of retirement and targeting a return this fall. Sources tell Ring Magazine. Lomachenko. Now, this is the part that you must pay attention to. Yes, you at home. We working. Peep this. Lomachenko's contract with Top Rank expired yesterday when the news came out. And Loma is now a free promotional agent. He tries to go the Gervonta Tank Davis route and link up with PBC or something to get that fight made, which would be a big mega fight, right? Or Zuffa Boxing and Turkey, they're throwing money around, probably more than what he was getting. Fight on the horizon, you got the Shakurs, the Keishans, the Devin, well, not Devin, because he's a little bit higher and they already fought, so that ship is probably sailed, but Gervonta Davis, right?
Coach Calvin Ford keeps the structure simple, but the standards high.
We spar Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you ain't just got to work with Tank. I got other guys that y'all can work with. So if you want to get some work, if you're getting ready for a fight, we'll help you get ready for the fight. We'll give you some work. You know what I'm saying? This is based on weight classes that I got up in here. Floyd make it, you know, that's what Floyd like. Floyd likes seeing that work, you know? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If you ain't coming to work, don't come. As simple as that. This work, you know, we out here. We ain't ducking no, we don't duck no spawn. Everybody want to get some work. You know, I sit back and look at this thing, man. This thing's for real. Gotta keep it tight.
And with that new freedom comes a massive wave of opportunities that has the entire boxing world paying attention. Potential blockbuster fights against the biggest names in the sport are now closer than ever, with major organizations like PBC and Zuffa Boxing entering the conversation. For Boxing Geo, this is not simply a comeback story. This is the beginning of a major bidding war that could